Here now, NewsNation political contributor, former Republican staffer, and Princeton University political scientist, Dr. Lauren Wright, and NewsNation political contributor and A. Scott Bolden. Nice to see both of you this morning. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
Lauren,
Thank
let's
you.
start with this ad going out in Raleigh, Charlotte, Greensboro ahead of Trump's rally. How much of a problem could this create for Trump to win that state? We should mention he has not rescinded his endorsement for the lieutenant governor. But do you think this controversy could bleed into other races outside of North Carolina? This has become a national story.
Yes, I do think it's North Carolina specific, but I think it's really bad. And look, Scott knows, and I think Kamala Harris's candidacy has a lot of weaknesses. Abortion is not one of them. This candidate is a nightmare for Trump. She's absolutely doing the right thing by trying to tell the story that Trump complimented him and trying to align their views. And I just don't know when Republicans started getting so bad at vetting their candidates, but this is a disaster. It is a state where abortion's very much on the ballot. He already had controversial remarks about it, and that's why he was already 8 points behind. It's sort of over when it comes to this gubernatorial race, and I do think it'll bleed into Trump's lead there, if he even still has one.
Thank you for that, Lauren. Scott, let's talk to Harris. She harnessed the star power of Oprah in a live stream interview. She had a candid response about being a gun owner. This made a lot of headlines yesterday. It said, if somebody breaks in my house, they're going to get shot. She's also an advocate for gun reform. So why share this? Do you think it's going to jeopardize her base, or do you think it's going to bring more voters in to the Harris campaign?
I think she's still fighting for the middle, that she's showing that you can own a gun, you can be willing to use the gun. I'm not trying to take your guns from you. And that's where most of America is. There are a lot of gun owners out here, but there are also a lot of gun owners who are responsible gun owners, believe in reasonable gun control. And that's where the middle of America is. And so as a result, she's open to sharing that, because that 10 to 15% that's in the middle, that's unsure, still checking out who they're going to vote for. Let me tell you something. Those are issues that will pull moderate Republicans towards her. That is, I don't want to take your guns. Secondly, if I can just jump back to the North Carolina issue, Lauren, I can tell you when they lost their mind, when the Republicans lost their minds. In 2017, when Donald Trump endorsed Roy Moore, a certified pedophile and what have you. And it's just about power and can you win? There is no background check. They don't care. Look at who Donald Trump is. They don't care. If you can win, we're going to ride with you.
Lauren, this week, speaking of Trump, he held a Fighting Anti-Semitism in America event. During that, he said that if he loses the race, I want to read the quote, the Jewish people would have a lot to do with that loss. I hear the sigh from you, Scott, but why? What does he gain from saying something like that? And I do want to add, polls show Harris has the majority of the Jewish vote, at least right now. There's a great poll, 65% to 34%. Lauren, that question's for you.
Yes, but she does have to maximize that. There are 6 million plus Jewish voters in this country who are really unsure of Harris's record and don't know exactly where she stands on the Israel-Palestine issue, because she's been simultaneously very critical of Israel, and she's also said the conflict needs to end. She's said we need a deal right away, but it's Hamas, not Israel, who has ended these ceasefire talks 4 times since April. And so I do think she has more shoring up to do there than Trump does. But I also think he's really failed to draw a contrast with her there by saying stupid things like Israel has a PR problem and that's on them. I mean, they've been treated unfairly and been evaluated unfairly for decades, and Jewish voters know that, so he should be more careful.
Scott, let's zero in on the fight for the working class vote. Both campaigns need this in November. Harris has been focusing on the care economy with policies to expand child care, making housing more affordable. She hasn't focused much about manufacturing. We know a lot of Americans care about that. Should she be tweaking the strategy as we go into November?
Well, that's one area where the increase in manufacturing jobs is a big win and big plus for Biden-Harris. I'm not sure she should be tweaking it. She ought to be talking more about it, because manufacturing jobs are up, inflation is down, and the job market is cooling. And we just saw where the Fed reduced by a 0.5 point interest rates and stuff. You want to talk about an opportunity economy? Those are foundation points of what she ought to just be yelling and screaming or at least promoting in her ads, as well as in her communications or in her rallies and what have you. So tweaking it, maybe. I mean, people smarter than me will probably tell her how to do that. But the reality is, this economy is churning along, and people are going to start feeling it, which has been absent from all the statistics and the technical issues of what a strong economy is. We've got the greatest recovery from COVID of any other country in the world, if you will. And we got to remind people of that, but we got to make them feel it. People have to feel it in order to vote for the future. And if you were Kamala Harris, you wanted to vote for you, not Biden and not Trump.
Lauren and Scott, thanks for waking up with us this Saturday. We appreciate it, guys.